Has there ever been a single year in recorded history when the entire world was at peace? Not mostly peaceful, not relatively stable, completely at peace. Hello, my name is Lilith, and today let's reveal a pattern hidden in a plain sight. The shortest war in history lasted between 38 to 45 minutes.
August 27, 1896. The Sultan of Zanzibar died, and his nephew seized power without the approval of the British. So Crown sent an ultimatum: abdicate by 9 a.m. He refused. So by 9:02 a.m., 5 British warships opened fire. By 9:40, it was over. 500 Zanzibari casualties and 1 injured British sailor. That same year, there were ongoing conflicts in Cuba, the Philippines, Sudan, and Afghanistan.
The next one, by far my favorite, called the longest war by many historians, probably with 0 casualties. The 335 years war between Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly.
All started in 1651 during the English Civil War. The Dutch declared war on these tiny islands of Cornwall, and then everyone forgot about it.
Until 1986, when a historian discovered no peace treaty had ever been signed. Technically, they were still at war, so the Dutch ambassador flew to Scilly and signed a peace treaty.
But during those 335 years, there wasn't a single year when real wars weren't happening somewhere.
Sometimes countries don't even need a ground reason, or they try to hide the real reason behind an absurdly small trigger. In 1859, the US and Britain nearly went to war over a dead pig.
An American farmer shot a British pig that was eating his potatoes. The owner of the pig demanded $100 compensation. The farmer offered just 10. British authorities threatened to arrest Cutler, but because the border wasn't clearly defined, American settlers, fearing this was Britain trying to enforce control, called for military protection.
The situation spiraled. Within weeks, 461 American soldiers with 14 cannons faced 5 British warships carrying 2,140 men and 70 guns. Over a pig.
Eventually, British Admiral Robert L. Baines told Governor James Douglas that he would not escalate the conflict into a war between 2 great nations, quote, over a squabble about a pig.
Total casualties? 1 pig.
This is considered one of the most sensible military decisions in history. The next one happened in 1983 when Soviet officer Stanislav Petrov was told that US nuclear missiles were incoming. Protocol demanded to report it and trigger retaliation, but he decided it was a false alarm and saved us all from nuclear apocalypse. While the pig standoff was playing out, the American Civil War took 600,000 lives, and the Taiping Rebellion in China, 20 to 30 million.
But that was a long time ago. Humans of the 20th century surely needed more serious reasons. For example, war over World Cup qualification matches.
In June 1969, Honduras and El Salvador clashed in a violent 2-leg World Cup qualifier with riots, harassment, and death surrounding the games. Days later, during anti-Salvadoran riots in Honduras and on the eve of the playoff game, El Salvador cut diplomatic ties because of the forced displacement of about 12,000 Salvadorans.
After 2 weeks of various incidents on the border, on July 14th, the Salvadoran Air Force attacked Honduras. The war lasted 100 hours, taking around 5,000 lives, including the civilian population. As believable as it sounds, the real issue wasn't football, but immigration and land reform. The matches just gave people something to focus their anger and attention on. The wars we talked about were very localized, with a small number of casualties or with no casualties at all. But some wars reshape continents and last for generations.
The 100 Years' War between England and France didn't actually last 100 years. It was 116 years, 4 months, 3 weeks, and 4 days of campaigns, battles, sieges, and treaties that kept breaking down. It's estimated that between 2.5 and 3.5 million people were killed.
5 generations were born, lived, and died during this war. For them, war wasn't an interruption, it was a normal life.
During those 116 years, the Ottoman Empire was expanding. Italian city-states were fighting. Civil wars were raging across multiple kingdoms. For 5 generations of Europeans, war was the normal flow of life. 2 centuries before the 100 Years' War, in 1206, the Mongol conquests began. It was one of the most sustained periods of warfare in human history.
Over 160 years of continuous conflict. The death toll around 20 to 60 million people, roughly 6 to 13% of the world's population.
Baghdad, one of the greatest cities and the center of Islamic learning, was sacked in 1258. The House of Wisdom, which had preserved countless ancient texts, was destroyed. Tales say the Tigris River ran black with ink from all the books thrown into it, then ran red with blood.
After the conquests came the Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace. Silk Road flourished and trade networks expanded. Ideas and technologies moved across Asia more freely than ever. Stability built on the ashes of total conquest. But war never truly stopped. Peace and the benefits it brought in the form of trade, relationships, new technologies, and connections were not enough. Humanity continued to conquer and seek power.
World War I was supposed to change everything. 20 million dead in just 4 years. Empires collapsed, the map of Europe was redrawn.
But it was the nature of the war that shocked the world. Industrial scale slaughter. Machine guns firing 600 rounds per minute, poison gas, tanks, airplanes, battleships, submarines. War had become mechanized.
The Battle of the Somme, 57,000 British casualties in a single day. The Battle of Verdun, 750,000 casualties. Soldiers called it the meat grinder. The First Battle of the Marne, just 7 days and around 500,000 dead or injured. No future battle on the Western Front would average so many casualties per day. The Ottoman Empire during war years conducted large-scale ethnic cleansings, genocides of the Armenian, Greek, and Assyrian Christian populations. This list of the horrors of the Great War feels endless.
When the armistice finally came on November 11, 1918, the world was exhausted, traumatized, and certain of one thing: this could never happen again. They called it the war to end all wars. 21 years later, Germany invaded Poland.
The Second World War was even worse. Over 1,000 people were killed every hour during 6 years of war. 70 to 85 million total dead. The Holocaust, entire cities destroyed, nuclear weapons were used for the first and only time. The war that was supposed to end all wars had only been a preview of the deadliest war on our planet.
War is destructive, but it also concentrates resources and urgency in a way peacetime rarely does. Governments pour unlimited money into weapons development. Scientists solve in months what might take years. And here comes the uncomfortable truth. Some of humanity's most important technological advancements come directly from war. When nations face existential threats, funding flows to research. Brilliant minds are pulled into development. From Archimedes to Einstein, it was always like this.
In 1969, the US Department of Defense created the ARPANET, a a communication system that could survive a nuclear attack, a decentralized network with no single point of failure. What they created became the ancestor of the internet. Email, the web, social media, streaming, online banking, basically the entire digital infrastructure of modern civilization. Same with GPS. It was developed to guide missiles, coordinate troops, navigate ships and aircraft. Now it is the essence of our infrastructure. Microwave ovens, canned food, antibiotics, jet engines, computers, and even this harmless piece of metal, adored by children all over the world, are a legacy of war.
Does this mean war is crucial for innovation? I don't think so. It means we're capable of incredible things when properly motivated and funded. We can solve nearly impossible problems when we treat them as urgent. War drives innovation, but it doesn't have to be the only thing that does.
After 1945, the world tried something different. The United Nations, the Geneva Conventions, nuclear mutually assured destruction. And it worked in a specific way. The major powers haven't directly fought each other in 80 years. Humanity was sure the Third World War will not happen.
But the war didn't end. It changed shape. Smaller regional conflicts, proxy wars, civil wars, police actions, or special military operations that aren't officially called wars. The doomsday clock ticked on in the background, marking not the absence of war, but how close we kept standing to the edge.
According to the Uppsala Conflict Data Program, right now there are approximately 50 active armed conflicts in the world. Most you've never heard of, they happen in places that don't make Western news, but they're happening right now. War is constant.
There is a mathematical reason why continuous war is more likely than global peace. The world has just under 200 recognized nations. Add non-state actors, rebel groups, separatist movements, hundreds of entities capable of conflict. For complete global peace, every single entity must be at peace with every other entity simultaneously. For war, you only need two.
That's the fundamental asymmetry. Universal peace requires everything to go right everywhere at once. War only requires one thing to go wrong. And what do you think, which is more likely? Peace treaties don't always hold. Versailles, for example, was signed in 1919. Within 20 years, the world was at war again.
From a statistical standpoint, continuous war is expected. Global peace would be an anomaly. So let's go back to where we started. Has there ever been a single year in recorded history when the entire world was at peace? No, there wasn't. 0 years of global peace in all of recorded history. At any moment, pick any date, any year, any decade, somewhere on Earth, organized armed conflict was happening.
Peace existed, yeah, but only locally and temporarily. Your country might have been at peace, your region, city, you might have lived your entire life without hearing a gunfire. And that's real, that matters. But globally, simultaneously, never. No wonder we expect aliens to arrive armed and hungry for land.
Every intelligent force we've ever encountered has behaved that way. Arrival, domination, extraction, justification. This is our pattern. History taught us that ships on the horizon rarely bring science or philosophy. They bring weapons, borders, and new rulers.
So when we imagine beings crossing interstellar distances, we don't picture scientists. We picture conquerors, not because the universe demands it, but because we do. This is the only model we'd have ever seen. In other words, we don't fear aliens. We fear meeting ourselves, just smarter, stronger, angrier.
So does this mean peace isn't our natural starting point? Is that war? Peace is the exception, the fragile, hard-won, temporary exception that people have to build over and over between the wars. The great achievement of the post-1945 order isn't that we eliminated war, it's that we prevented it from becoming global and nuclear. That isn't nothing. But it's not peace, it's managed conflict. Maybe the real question isn't when we will finally have peace. Maybe the real question is, how do we make peace last a little longer this time? Thank you for your time. See you in the next, more positive video.